Hello people. Well, if that intro's taught me anything, it's that it takes just over 3 minutes to make the perfect cup of tea. But I'm here, I'm ready to go for the Street Racers event, this time from a track that is synonymous with carnage, basically, is the nicest way of putting it. So we are, of course, as you may have seen on your screen at the very bottom, at the Nurburgring Nordschleife. In the N300 Street Racers cars. This is a league with full tuning and co-hosted between Asylum and MRC, of course in association and with the support and admiration of all those wonderful folks at Team Oliver Racing. So let's get over on track. Let's get into the lobby. So we've got a full lobby. We've got a full lobby, guys. This is amazing. This is just what I wanted. Yeah, qualifying's going to be getting underway soon. A bit of a different format because of the track we've got. It's going to be a 10-minute qualifying, so that's basically going to be enough for these people to get out there, get an outlap done, and then get underway. So let me just do a volume check real quick. Make sure that, of course, you are hearing me correctly, so I'm just going to mute myself for just a second. Sounds good. Any issues, though, of course, do let me know in the chat. Let me grab my keyboard. Yeah, so anyway, this free race series that we've had has been dominated by LVO. It's been an absolute dynamite, and there's a couple of car changes tonight. The theme has been so far is that everyone's been going in the Porsche, albeit tonight that's changed a little bit. There's a couple of Ferrari F50s out on track, there's a couple of M4s, there's a few different ones going in. Bobby's left of him. There's a few different things going on, so we'll see. The cars are getting out on their outlap now. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So those of you that are new to this is the Tour Street Racers League. So this is very much going to look like Touristinfahrten at the Nurburgring tonight, because it's basically just street production cars. They have the ability to get these cars all set up though, so they've been able to adjust the camber, the tow, the damping, all that sort of stuff. And of course the gearbox. Setting a car up for the Nurburgring ain't an easy task at all. It's a very difficult thing. So we just see Pete get it. Oh, I thought you were going to Tokyo drift it. Then we might need to. Someone might need to clip that and then just put the Tokyo Drift music over the top of it. But he's saved it. He's okay. He's okay. He can keep going. Yeah, the F50 then. Not sure why that's so powerful. I'm really not up on my N300 cars and what the strengths and weaknesses are, but it must be good because there's a couple of them that have chose this one, and these are people that we'd normally see near the top of the leaderboard. So LVO's in that, Pot's in it. And we had one more that was in the F50. I'm sure we did Mart. There we go. Yeah, Mart's in that as well. So Mart was the one that last week was getting felt up by Dark Smoker. Hopefully his left leg is now being left in peace, and Dark Smoker is no longer fiddling him. Because it did cause him to crash out once or twice last time out. We've got Venture as well. Venture was a very impressive racer last time out. Also in the Ferrari F50, and some very nice looking bespoke liveries just for this one round basically. The Race Asylum boys do like to bring a good livery to the pie. So these laps don't count, so whatever happens here isn't really counting towards anything. It's an outlap. We've got a new driver tonight as well, Alex W. Another Ferrari, so he's got plenty of people in the same car. So don't know anything about Alex other than he was invited into this by Philo, so he's potentially going to be an alien. Certainly driving like he knows the Nurburgring. I do normally like to do an onboard lap, but I think we haven't got the time to do that, so we might just jump on board with people from time to time just to see what they're getting on. Like, oh, it's Martle. That's yeah. I'm betting Smoker's stuck a finger in somewhere that he shouldn't have there. So yeah, this race then with the format of 3. So we've got this qualifying session, then 3 sprint races, basically 3 15-minute sprint races. So depending on how long these laps are going to be, it's either going to be 2 or 3 laps they'll do. So it could kind of go. Well, it's going to be basically a race of attrition, isn't it? So for anyone that doesn't know the Nurburgring, and I'll be brutally honest, if you don't know the Nurburgring, I do have to question your sanity and why you're here. So the Nurburgring Nordschleife, in terms of miles, just short of 13 miles, so 12.9 or 20.8 kilometres if you go down that route. 154 turns. A lap record, which we're not going to see broken tonight, is held by Stefan Veloff in a Porsche 956 apparently. Although I believe that's in a race, of course. Though they have gone a lot faster than that in the 919 Evo, or is it? Am I thinking of the right one? But didn't that do it in like 28 seconds? Anyway. Yeah, so that's in its current guise, with a few changes along the way. So yeah, with over 150 turns per lap, the drivers are going to have the work cut out in navigating this this course. It's very easy to lose track of where you are if you're not too familiar with the circuit. Most racing tracks have anywhere between sort of 10 and 15 sort of corners, is the average. This has 10 times that. Of course, that is reflected in the lap length. In these cars, you might need to be careful of the curbs. The curbs at the Nurburgring can be quite famous for being able to send your car into oblivion. The ones Elvio are nearby at the moment aren't really that dangerous, but you see how he just upset the car then as he got his right wheels hunkered over there. Expect to see that tonight. Drivers will be probably consciously avoiding these curbs a lot of the time for fear of that. And then of course the track is just lined with grass, which doesn't have much grip. These cars, although they are production model cars, they are being ran on racing slick tyres, so there is no grip off the circuit really. It's not like your road car where it's got the grooves in it and it can grip onto grass and stuff relatively easily. As soon as you go offline in these things, you're kind of a bit of a passenger, as Philo's just demonstrated. I think he just got distracted by someone else, but nevertheless, yeah, they're all going to get round for another go at it anyway. But it's just going to be the one lap that everyone's going to get. We have got a car that is right at the back. Now that is Bobby. So we're going to have, and he's in a Lamborghini. He's memeing. He's in an old Lamborghini. Yeah, so Bobby's just ran at the start of that, so he's a minute and a half in. LVO's 6, so we're going to have a 5-minute wait pretty much from the first car passing the finishing line to the last one passing the finishing line. Such is the field spread that we've got here at the Nurburgring. But LVO Trick's about to get his flying lap underway. It's a one-shot quali. They will only get one go at it. Very high potential to see a mixed up grid here. It's very easy to make a mistake here at the Nurburgring. And it's not the easiest track to actually make an overtake on either. It's not exceptionally wide, as you can probably tell. So the main aim for all the drivers here has to be just keep it on the black stuff. A Gecko Racer drifts us around the first turn. He's got Duco, close company at the moment. Pot him at pot, a couple of corners back. Fat Picklesborough not too far away from him. They've got Brinky. We've got Alex W just coming around the start finish line now to start his lap. We've got Berserker Boy just preparing himself now. What I will say is he's taken a bit out of his fronts already, but shouldn't matter too much, to be fair. Shouldn't really give him that much of an impact. But Berserker Boy in the probably the most modern car here. If we ignore the M4s that are rolling around the circuit. Oh wait, no, there's a Supra. There's a Supra, Blackie. Blackie who had a bit of a bad time out last time. Does like the Nurburgring, so hopefully he can have a better night of it. I've got Slow Seamus as a special guest tonight. He's also running the Toyota Supra. We'll see what he can bring to the party. Venture in the F50, not too far behind Seamus, and we know Venture's got some pace about him. Then Philo in 12. Philo is just preparing his lap now, giving himself plenty of space to the cars ahead. Off he goes for his lap then. So that's Philo. He is a bit of a Nurburgring maestro. I was kind of involved, not driving, but just sort of helping organise us taking part in a 24-hour race around here, in which three of the drivers that we had are racing in this tonight. Philo is one of them, Bobby's another, and Pot's another one. They did us exceptionally proud. I think they ended up finishing P2 or P3 overall after 24 hours, and that's had some very questionable driving from other drivers as well, but yeah. Mark's there. Then we've got McFlurry Twist. He's another F50 driver. He's just got not long past the carousel. He's on auto drive at the moment, and then we've got Bobby. He was just memeing in the Lamborghini. James, how are you doing, my friend? Good evening. So Elvio Trix is already quite a way through his lap, 2.5 minutes or so. So the outlaps for Elvio was 7 minutes 11 seconds. So we're very much on the cusp of getting a third lap in race trim. There may well be a couple of cars that make it to do a third lap. That shouldn't be an issue for fuel. Fuel shouldn't be a problem. It'll be the tyres really that'll be the issue for these boys. 150 odd turns per lap. Very punishing on the tyres as the Nurburgring. Maybe why the Ferrari's been chosen, because it does seem to be holding on to them quite nicely. Similar, BMW's got maybe a little bit more wear on it. It's a little bit of a heavier car, the BMW. So, all I'm really looking for now is just to see if I can spot anyone that's potentially really on the pace. We will of course have a look at the sector times as they start rolling through. That will give us an idea as to who's going to place where. A couple of drivers still on this outlap. We've got McFlurry, Twist and Bobby still doing this outlap then. Let's have a quick peek at the sector times, see what's going on. It's all Elvio at the moment, it's purple everywhere. Ignore the fact it's all green, we expect that it's the first flying lap. I'm just looking at anyone that's specifically higher or lower than everyone else, and what I can say with some degree of certainty is there's only a couple of drivers there that are really off the pace, and that have made errors along the way. Predominantly we've actually got a relatively close field in terms of sector time so far. Of course the Nurburgring made up of many sectors. Each sector about 30 seconds long or so there's plenty of them. Tea's about at a drinkable level. So Elvio Trix then looks favourite for pole so far. Certainly does seem to be right on the ragged edge in some of these corners in that F50. Nice and tight there up to the apex, but not taking the mick with the curbs. Up to YouTube corner. Because we used to see all the Nurburgring clips. They were filmed from that little ledge up there. And then over the crest into a very fast left-hander. You can't really see the apex there, you just have to trust it's still there. And they start heading back downhill. This is the part where your car starts to feel light. You need to place it preemptively where it's going to go. Get the turn in nailed. As soon as you land again, long sweeping right into an immediate left. Again, these are all blind apexes. You've just got to kind of know. You've got to know where you're going. You can't really foreshadow too much of your race here. This is one of my favourite sections of Nurburgring. Really fast. It feels brilliant when you do it right. This corner's critical for setting up the left-hander, which is really bad if you get this one wrong. That curb on the outside there is brutal if you hit it at the wrong angle. Mini carousel, then hook the tyres up on the curb on the left-hand side, run the car out wide. And then one of the most important corners on the circuit, series of corners really, that set you up for the straight. You want to be back on the power. There might be a little lift needed around here. There is, yeah, a little confidence lift. And LVO's onto the main straight then. There's a couple more corners for him. Meanwhile, Bobby has started his lap. Flurry Twist looks to have abandoned his effort, so he won't get to go qualifying. Bobby is on his lap now in the meme Lamborghini. Good idea of sector times. It's all LVO at the moment. Of course, we'll just have to wait and see as the drivers do start to pull these lap times in, but LVO's going to set the benchmark that everyone else has got to try and get near. There's a couple more corners on for LVO to go. Let's get your braking right. Last corner, just be careful of the wall on the inside. Really, really aggressive there by LVO as he throws it in. It's going to be a 7:02.0 for LVO Tricks, and that is a mighty time to beat. Gecko Racer, he's on a 7 at the minute. A bit of a lumpy exit from there. It's not going to be enough to get pole. Duco then, can he do any better? I'll be honest, doesn't know. He's not going to be any higher up, so he's P3 at the moment. Then we've got Potham at Pot. He goes P3, knocks Duco down another spot. Fat Pickles Bro then in the Honda NSX. Honda have had great success in Formula 1. Will they have great success at the Nurburgring? He's already into the 15s then for Fat Pickles Bro. It's going to be a 7:20 for Pickles. Alex W, it's going to be slightly faster than Pickles. Where does it throw him? He's going to go P5 then, Alex, on his first race with us. Brinky's going to be 7th at the moment for Brinky. With a 7 minutes 30. Berserker Boy's going to be next across the line in the Nissan Fairlady Z. It seems to be a good lap this one actually from Berserker Boys into the 15s as he rounds the final corner. What's it going to be? Goes P7, does beat Brinky then. Next across the line's going to be Blackie in the Supra. The first of two Supras we've got on the field tonight. Time to beat a 7:020 is already at a 7:24, so the Toyota's not having the look that the Ferrari's having. Blackie is very aggressive in that final corner, gets the back end out. There's some damage to that car, so I'm guessing he's had a bit of an off somewhere. Blackie P9 at the moment. Venture then with a penalty is going to be P8 for Venture, 7:21.6, just behind Berserker Boy. Next one is going to be Philo. Philo's not had a great time of it. It's a 7:19, 7:20.2, P6 at the moment, just ahead of Fat Pickles Bro, but 9 seconds off Alex Sim Racing. Slow Seamus then, he's going to remain P12 of a 7:48.4, and then it's going to be Mart. Where is Mart? It's a good lap to be fair for Mart so far. It's going to be P5 for Mart. Dark Smokehouse has been doing all the right things. Tim is 0.006 of a second faster than Alex, who is also in a Ferrari, isn't he? Yeah, I think he is. The last and only driver then that's got to come across the line and make a lap is Bobby, and he's just going around Carousel. So he's got another couple. We've got a couple of minutes to wait for Bobby. We can jump on board with the Lamborghini. Can I get any different? There we go. This is Bobby Cam. No pressure, Bob. We're all watching you. He's got a little bit of a penalty from somewhere as well, so that's probably a track limit violation from somewhere. Now the other car you see on the track map there is McFlurry Twist, who's abandoned his. So Bobby will be 14th at the very least, but can he get any higher? The pole time, a 7:02.0, which proved to be a great pole time there by LVO. No one else really even got near him. Right, is Bobby a couple of minutes away? We know he's quick round here. But we also know he likes to pick weird and wonderful cars that no one really ever wants to drive. It's either because he likes to be different, or because when he inevitably gets spanked, he can blame it on the car. Gecko Racer, how you doing? P2 for you. How you feeling about the race? Confident? Or is it just a case of stopping the Potter? I haven't seen any points, so I don't know where people are in terms of like championships and stuff, so I'm just commentating it as a race. What I can say is that this bit we're riding on board with Bobby, it's a good lap. Right, the front end of this Lamborghini does not seem to want to respond to him at all. He's having to fight this thing. Oh wait, well he's getting rid of his penalty coming into mini carousel. I thought he would just abandon his lap then. Oh, mini carousel's chucked him a little bit, but that's okay, he's rescued it. It's not going to be a pole time. We're already at 6 minutes 20. But what can Bob Bristow do then? 14th at the moment. He'll want to start a little bit higher than that. Hopefully all 15 drivers finish tonight. That is the dream, of course. We had a bit of a torrid one last week. A lot of drivers did end up not finishing the race. St. Croix can be a little bit of a cruel mistress, unfortunately. So probably then taking all liberties. Oh, the marshals would have had different coloured underpants on if it had carried on with that move. It's a 708, 709. So yeah, he's up on quite a few people. Bobby here with this lap, and in a Lamborghini that does not want to turn. This is mighty impressive. P7 for Bob Bristow. P7. It is 14.5 seconds off the lead, but in an old Lamborghini, that's impressive. Well done, Bob. But all plaudits, LVO tricks, 3 seconds faster than anybody else. Then it's Gecko Racer P2, Potter P3, Duco P4. But a big old field spread here tonight, so we'll see what that yields for the race. They are 15-minute races, but they'll probably be 3 laps. So we're looking at 23, 24 minutes. Thereabouts per race. So it's going to be a bit of a longer night. But here we go then, focusing in on LVO. There you go, close up. As we get ourselves underway for race 1 of 3, I will explain the format as we go around. Of course, the grid here just set by qualifying, so LVO Tricks is going to lead us into the first turn, and it's going to be pretty much single file. Oh, well, it was single file until I saw Philo yeet it up the inside of Alex. Alex immediately goes for the switch back there. The F50 getting the work done then on Philo. We can go back and have a look at that should we need to. What did indeed happen between these two? I didn't see it. So it was Philo just got launched there off the start. Absolutely mugged off Bobby and Alex just was aware of it, gave him the room, got the cut back done. Lovely racing by those two, but Philo, what a start from him. P8 then at the moment. Bobby and Alex have got back ahead of him. But at the moment it's LVO leading you away from Gecko Racer. Gecko has got Potter McPot right up his chuff. Then it's Duco. These 4 starting to pull away just a little bit. Then Mark's trying to keep up then with the F50. And then you got Bobby P6 in the Lamborghini. He is going to be the odd one out tonight. Alex in the Ferrari. You can see the pace difference of that Ferrari. It's on him like a fat kid on a cupcake at the moment. I mean, there's not much Bobby's going to be able to do against this. He just occupies the part of the track he needs to occupy and hope that Alex can predict that. So then we've got him, we've got Philo P8, Fat Pickles Bro 9th, Berserker Boy 10th, Venture 11th, with Brinky was looking like he was going to make a move there in 12th, Blackie 13th, Slow Seamus 14th and off the circuit, and McFlurry Twist is 15th. One thing I've just noticed, the drivers only have half full tanks. So they've only got 50 kilos of fuel on board the cars. So does that matter? Is that going to be an issue? I don't think it is, but we'll see. Old Lamborghinis aren't built for rallycross, Bob. What's happened to Alex? He's been there a while, unfortunately. Alex has had a little bit of a nightmare. He's down in 10th. He was ahead of Philo not too long ago. But Elvia, oh, Potter McPot is past Gecko Racer. Again, we missed it, sorry. But Potter McPot ahead of Gecko Racer. Then it's 2 Ferraris, 2 BMWs. Then another Ferrari. Then a meme Lamborghini. Then another BMW. Philo just trying to get himself back in this one after an initially good start. Venture, P8 for Venture, he's doing a good job so far. There's Alex has thrown one up the inside of Blackie. We have just replayed that so we can go back and have a look at it. That was a committed move. Oh, there was a little bit of contact there, but I don't think that was purposeful between any of them. It's just the way curb physics work in GT Sport. There was a nice little battle there going on between Berserker Boy and Blackie. Blackie's Toyota doesn't really seem to just have the get up and go a lot of the cars here have. It seems a little bit more cumbersome. I'm trying to keep my eyes out on the action while drinking a cup of tea. It's not going to necessarily be the easy thing. Gecko Race then right back on Potter McPot. So this of course leading up to the sequence of corners that is Carol. Potter McPot's got it wrong, just got a tyre there on the gravel. Not on the gravel, on the grass, sorry, and while he was braking, of course percentage of your braking does go to the rear tyres, and it looked like one of the rears was locked up there and sent him sideways. We can jump on board Potter McPot. You can see Gecko Racer right in his mirrors. Just keep an eye out, he jinks right at the moment. Oh wait, no, there it is. Yeah, just braking while he was on the grass. Unfortunately, that sent him round. He's now getting pressured by Duco. Gecko Racer has been able just to pull away a little bit. 1.5 seconds now, but Elvio tricks. He's checked out and left the building. He's 3 seconds up the road already. Mark, they're not too far behind actually at the moment, Mark. We see he had really good pace in qualifying. He is pulling away from Bobby behind in the Lamborghini. Philo's gaining on Bobby in the Lamborghini, so that's going to be a battle that will happen very soon. Venture P8 doing a... Oh, we're going to lose one driver. Then we've got Alex v Brinky. Ferrari power versus Nissan power. Normally not a contest. But the Nurburgring is the great equaliser of all things. So unfortunately we have lost one driver. I was expecting it. Blackie's had an issue. Down in 14th. He was ahead of Slow Seamus. What happened to Blackie? Oh, I just lost the back end. Car hasn't wanted to behave for him all night, it has to be said. As we are nearing the end of our first lap then. I think it is going to be a free lapper for most people at the very least. Oh, what's happened to Bob? Bob's lost a ton of time. Oh, there he is. He's in the wall. He must have just got it wrong somewhere. And that did enable Philo and Venture to make their way through. Bobby does still have a little bit of a gap over Alex in 9th. He's still dealing with Brinky in that Nissan Skyline. Brinky's a constant threat almost as we come down the back straight then. Brinky's going to have that suck. The turbo Skyline screaming there, and it's just going to be about how the top the top end of the gearbox is mapped. That Skyline only a 5-speed, the Ferrari is 6-speed, 162 miles an hour. The Skyline's going 170. Then as they dip down the hill, the speeds will increase even more. Was the contact between the two though? I'm not too sure. As is Alex v Brinky. I think Brinky might just have to back out of this one for the time being. Yeah, it looks like he is. And that was just about defended there by Alex. Brinky's going to have another go at him. We'll see how these guys at the top are doing, and then we'll run through the field yet again. But LVO Tricks checked out 4 seconds ahead now. Gecko Racer P2 doing a good job in a BMW M4 to keep with him, pot him at pot, maintaining the gap to Gecko Racer at the moment, with Duco just falling a little bit further behind. Mart about 3 seconds back from Duco now. Venture P6, Philo P7. Oh, we've just covered Alex as Bobby's got himself past. I didn't see that happen. Is Bobby going to try and have a go at Alex? Let's see what the closing speed of that Lamborghini is like. It's not dramatic at the moment. The Lamborghini behind will have a slightly slow. Oh, just that was a drift from Bobby there. The Lamborghini's gear shift will be a lot slower than the Ferrari's. So the Ferrari is making time on gear shifts. And the Lamborghini, of course, has the old-fashioned manual clutch and H shifter. The Ferrari, of course, a semi-sequential paddle shift. Brinky will have the same, by the way. Brinky will have manual in that car as well. Pickles 11th. Berserker Boy 12th at the moment. He's dropping Seamus like a stone at the moment. Seamus is building sandcastles for us in the Supra. He's about to be joined by Blackie. The 2 Toyotas at the back of the grid. You can see the 2 Toyotas just aren't enjoying it. They are not working well here. Bobby then having all sorts of troubles now in that Lamborghini. Yeah, fuel's not going to be a problem for these boys, is it? We started another lap then, as Bobby sends it into the wall. Bobby might well choose to come back and have a different car for the next race. That's probably what I'd expect Bobby to do. He's enjoying himself. That's the main thing, isn't it? So LVO Tricks 5.5 seconds ahead now. He's operating on a different planet at the moment, LVO Tricks, because we know how fast the guys behind him are. These guys are no slouchers, but they're just made to look bang average. Because I've raced against all these lads. I know they're quick. Mark's got himself past Duco. What happened there? Of course I missed it. I always miss the good juicy stuff. Let's see if there's any damage on Duco's car. Can't necessarily see any. I'm not sure what happened to him, but he's down in P5 then. And Mart now at P4, but 8-second gap up to bottom at pot. So he's got work to do. But main thing here about the Nurburgring, it only takes one mistake. As we've seen, it just takes one wheel on the dirt, and you are in all sorts of trouble. So Berserker Boy then, as we said last time, Berserker Boy will have. This is Berserker Boy's view. 1 minute. That. So his field of view isn't fantastic. He's using cockpit view as far as I'm aware. He's chasing down Bobby now in the Lamborghini. Gaining on him as well. Quite a rate of knots. Berserker Boy then, oh, it looked like he was just going to try and make the move then, but didn't know if Bob was going to unghost or not, and he does unghost at the wrong time. Bobby's going to try and get him back through the carousel. Oh, it looks like that Lamborghini though. Just not really well suited. To be fair, you don't see many of them in Tourist and Farting, do you? You don't see many Countachs slamming around there. Probably for good reason, because they're death trapped. Bobby, to be fair to Bobby, did that corner really well. Now, the closing speed of the Lamborghini then was ridiculous. Is he going to try and make a move? He's looking for a gap. He's giving Pete a little bit of a shove. Oh yeah, that was a shove as well. I don't know what Pete will be thinking about this. As long as you don't do it around this part of the circuit, Bobby should be okay. You can just see, if you look as well, Bobby's damaged his light. So on an old Lamborghini, that's about 50 grand's worth of repairs he's just caused there. Oh yeah, anyway, Fat Pickles Bro 6 seconds back from him. The Honda NSX not having a great time of things either. That has also got a little bit of damage on it, so has been in some trouble. And then it's Blackie v Seamus for the not last trophy. Come towards the end of lap 2 is LVO Tricks. So with a minute and a half remaining, LVO's going to get another lap out of this. I reckon at least the top 3 are going to get another lap out of this. Duco might even get involved in that party as well. Now, talking to Martin Duco, suck mode is engaged for the BMW. Ferrari does just about hold these cars off at high revs. But given the slipstream, we see some cars in the background. What's a little venture? We'll have a quick watch of this first, and then we'll see those guys as they come down the hill as well. Yeah, nothing's happening with these guys. I got it, yeah, it was all this. Look, it's Philo, Brinky, and Alex W. These guys, are they bump drafting each other down there? I'm not too sure. Philo ahead, oh, Philo sideways. Brinky more than sideways, but I'd say Brinky did a great job of holding that then. Managing to keep it relatively intact. As we see Bobby now and Berserker Boy still going at it. Bobby's off-roading it. Bobby's had a massive accident that would have no doubt decapitated him in real life. In fact, Pickles Bro's also had a massive accident. So, two big crashes. Well, that's going to be the race over then for some of these guys. So Berserker Boy finishes 10th. Bobby is going to finish in 11th, just. Pickles 12th. Blackie will get 13th, unless he has a yeah. Well, what I did want to go back and watch is this. So this is Fat Pickles' POV, so we can see what Bobby's doing up ahead. Look, he just loses the rear. The rear just goes. Rear just goes away from him. So on lap number 3 then, going to be LVO, Gecko, Potter, Mart, still ahead of the BMW. Then we've got Venture, Alex W, Philo, who's having a bit of a nightmare. Brinky's now going to get past him. Philo, who is somewhat of an experienced Nordschleife driver. Not having a great time of it in the BMW. Is it worth doing laps rather than time? Or just a 2-lap sprint? So pot them at pot them. He's got to do it this lap. Now, these boys have been pretty much bang for bang the same sort of speed. So 7:03.5 for part of that lap, 7:03.5 that lap for Gecko. Pretty much identical times, these two. In cars that couldn't be any more different. You've got a modern BMW M4 The classic Ferrari F50 was a mid-engine supercar essentially, and then the BMW M4 is a photocopy salesman with a massive rocket ship engine in it. Duco v Mart, getting very close now. Again, another Ferrari v BMW battle. And jump on board with Duco's car. Plenty of the lap still to go, of course. We're not even halfway through the lap yet. There's still plenty that can be decided here at the Nurburgring. 2 more races, of course, to come. So the finishing order from this race is going to determine the grid for the next one. And then we will have a reverse grid race at the end. So 3 races in total for you tonight. And then that's it for street races. We'll probably have a little bit of a festive break. Everyone will eat some mince pies and get merry, and then we'll be back in the new year with events and seasons and all that sort of stuff, no doubt. Just tune away from this battle for a moment, just see what else is going on. There are other cars racing, of course. I say racing, LVO Tricks is treating this like a track day. 7 seconds ahead now of Gecko Racer. Gecko's still got a 1.2, 1.3 second gap over Potter. Still time for that to change. Mart is just about holding off Duco, but he could do with a bit more of a gap before they get to the straight, because he's just begging to be overtaken on the straight at the moment. Then it's Venture P6, Alex in 7th. Pretty safe now to bring in Philo. Philo running 9th at the moment. Now we're not far away from the conclusion of this one, so things to watch out for is Gecko Racer v Potter. Potter's just gathered some time on him actually. He's just gathered a couple of attempts. So this is for the race for P2. And then we've got the next battle down, 15 seconds back from those. 2 equally close cars is Mart v Duco. So these boys have been duking it out for most of the race, and after nearly 20 minutes of racing, separated by just over 2/10 of a second as we come towards the end of the lap. So this is where the races are going to be vulnerable then, coming on to the main back straight. So on the approach to Mini Carousel, Gecko Racer has pulled out a little bit more of a gap against Potter. Potter's just got a bit of a penalty as well. That could put pay to his efforts. We'll keep an eye on both of these battles as they happen, because I wouldn't expect any passes down here unless there is a mistake being made. It will all be about the main straight. This is a ridiculously long straight here. There we go then. So Gecko can see LVO Tricks in the distance as a speck, a yellow Ferrari shaped speck up ahead. Potter then has really fell back. That battle is over unfortunately now. As Mart and Duco also come onto the main start finish rate. Venture loses it in the background. 1 second is the gap. Gecko Racer, that's 5 seconds now ahead of Potter. Yeah, so that battle, I'm afraid, is over. We don't get any mega exciting conclusions to this one. It is going to be LVO Tricks. It is going to be another race win and a dominant performance. Likes to flag fastest lap, pole position. Gecko Racer P2 held off Potter McPot throughout the entirety of that one. After getting past him quite early, Potter McPot kept with Gecko Racer the entire race after that initial mistake. P3. Then you got Mart, who's just going to keep it ahead of Duco, but these guys again are going to close up, and it's going to be a drag race to the line almost. And they're going to finish just 3/10 apart. Mart grabs 4th, Duco 5th. Them to about as close as you can hope to get. Then it's Venture with that late mistake has brought Alex closer to him, but he is going to keep P6 is Mr. Venture. Alex W P7. And then one final little battle going is Brinky v Philo. Philo at this point you'd think would have that wrapped. Brinky has kept the pressure on the entirety of the race, so Philo's just had a race littered with errors. Both of these guys have. But again, another close finish between Brinky and Philo. Just 2 attempts in it between those two. That's the conclusion of race 1. Race confirmation on your screen. We don't need Michael Massey to mess with those results. LVO did it all himself. So that's your race 1. Bobby, I've just seen your picture thing. That is absolutely grim. Oh, I'm laughing at a group chat that you can't read. I don't know why. I don't understand it. That's disgusting. It's not disgusting, it's just weird. Yeah, right, so race 1 of 3 is done, dusted, and out of the way. We've got another one coming up in a few minutes' time. A good time for me to tell you all about. Why have I turned that out? I turn that off. Turn that on, turn that off. So this is the last call then for the Race Asylum GT Sport event. Win yourself £1,000, and as we fast approach the fat man coming down your chimney, it's going to be a welcome amount of money. What you got to do is get yourself down to Race Asylum this Saturday, midday. Place £20 in their hands, and you'll be having a go at a fastest lap competition. Then there'll be a Race of Champions final. The winner will walk out there £1,000 richer, and we'll have the honour, the pride, the admiration of everyone else. So if you're anywhere near the West Bromwich area, or you can get yourself there this weekend, head down. The Race Asylum place, anyway, as we've said before, we've reviewed it on stream a couple of times. We'll try and get it back up later on. I'll have a look at it while we're racing. It's a really good place to go if you're remotely into gaming. They do VR. They've got loads of sim rigs sell, but it's not just about that. It's really it's a really professional setup. So you need to get yourselves down there. I am planning a visit. I think I need to get a couple of the chaps together, and we'll yeah, I need to get a couple of the chaps together, and we'll get down there and have a bit of banter. So you can get yourself involved. Right, back to the action. So a little bit of a break then before the second race. Time of day slightly changed. We've got more overcast conditions now. LVO out there getting some practice, not that he needs it. Yeah, Bobby's in his. That's his. That's your car, isn't it, Bob? Your little Clio. With duck on back, look. You can't see it from here, but there's a little. Your stream might not pick it up, but there's a little duck on the back of that. Bobby loves his ducks. So what's coming up then? What's happening? Well, Christmas, obviously. A really weird time of year for us, like league admins and stuff, because there's no point really doing too much from now on. It's just a bit of a foregone conclusion that you won't have anyone. We've got to wreck it with Clio. Yeah, well, mate, I want to know, but I don't. With your tow. Sadly, you don't have the V6 one. I've driven the V6 one. I used to work for Renault, didn't I? We took one in part exchange. They're mental. And because it's French and badly built, like the firewall, you just don't have faith in it because it rattles all the time. Yeah, we had a blue one in part exchange. So I borrowed it for a weekend. So at the time, I think they'd put me in a Twingo sport thing, and then I went from that to a Clio V6. Oh, yeah, it was nuts. Absolutely crazy car. Just a car like that shouldn't have that much power. It was just nuts, mate. Good fun though, and you get looked at a lot because from the front it does just look like a Clio, a bit wider. No, it don't sound like one. But yeah, you're constantly worried about the thing setting on fire because it just smells like, you know, because the engine is literally right next to your head. It just smells of burning all the time. Yeah, anyway, things that are approaching. So we've got, we will have the Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship. We don't know a start date yet. We were going to start it early January, but there's a few things that have happened that will inevitably push that back. You have got Infinity GT Manufacturers Series. There are some spaces left, I believe, in League 3. If you want to get involved in that, get yourself over to Mature Racing Club on Facebook. Then you need to look for the Infinity GT post. But granted, it'll be easy enough to find, or message on the page, and we will help you and put you in touch with a chap called James Harben. And he will be able to talk to you about potential seats in that league. That is a brilliant league. I'm doing comms for League 1. If you look back on my videos, you'll see commentaries from previous seasons if you want to get a feel for the sort of racing. But it is basically manufacturers v manufacturers. And I'm not sure what else is coming up because I didn't have a look at the Race Asylum page to see what they're doing. And then there is, of course, the Tour GT3 League. That'll be starting up in January as well. Actually considering a Twingo RS as my next. You know what, mate? I'll rate them. They're good cars. They're just a little bit like you don't trust them in court. You always. I never felt like it was grippy enough. You know what I mean? Like the centre of gravity is. You never feels like it's low enough in that car. Like you always feel like it's a little bit wavy. But I was comparing it directly to like the Clio Cup that I'd had, and that was like stiffened chassis, like lightweight wheels, the lot. And then I jumped in a Twingo RS and it felt like driving jelly, but it was quick. Nice little car, mate. It'd suit you well. Trying to fit you in one would be different. I'm 6 foot and it was tight for me. You're about 19 foot, so. Well, 18.5 after you've had your toes amputated or whatever you've had done. Anyway, enough rambling on about toes. What's happening here? There we go. We're in. We're in. I'm just GT Sport loading him. So this is the grid set by the last race results. So suffice to say, Elvio might just bugger off into the distance here, but watch for the M4s. They've been getting a good look in. So Duco, P5, Philo P8. Can they get any higher in that order? Philo's already up a position. Duco stays 5th. Philo now up to P6. Dives down the inside of Venture, but does run wide on the exit. So can the Ferraris do anything about that BMW? They go side by side. Philo backs out of it. Venture keeps his P6, but Alex has lost a position there. Then you got Brinky in 9th, Berserker in 10th, being pressured now by Bobby's little Fireburner Clio, sponsored by Spam and Ducks. Then we got Fat Pickles Bro 12th, Blackie 13th. Blackie's changed to the BMW, and Slow Seamus has changed to the Audi. So obviously the Supra is not working for them today. Elvio has checked out and left the building. Potham at Pot is going to try and right the wrongs from last time out though and get past Gecko Racer early and keep that lead. Gecko Racer's not an easy guy to get past though, and he'll have his work cut out doing that. We've got a resumption of this battle from last time with Mark v Duco. Philo's maintained that 7th then, but as we come to the higher speed sections of the circuit, the Ferrari might try to reel him back in again. And the Ferrari's bringing Brinky with him. So that Skyline doing a very good job here around the Nurburgring. It's one of the underrated cars. In Brinky's hands, it dances. He's just had a few unlucky incidents in it. Always, Bobby has an unlucky incident in his little Clio. Unlucky, Bob. Unlucky. But yeah, like, oh, I can't have. Yeah, so this is literally like there. There, look. There's the engine. Just to the right of that screen. And it kicks. But it's a standard like Clio interior, so you got the old like it's a really weird car. So no change of order so far. I'm just pressing buttons on my keyboard. Other than Bobby going backwards, slow Seamus in his Audi. Of course, they won't have had tunes for these cars, don't forget. So I'm guessing Blackie and Seamus will just be rocking the standard setups. So even though you might be looking at Blackie and going, well, he's in a BMW M4, well, the other guys in the M4s have been really good, but they've tuned those cars and ran them the entire way. Where Blackie's been using a Toyota Supra, which just isn't suited to the Nurburgring, so he's picked a car that is better suited. But it still isn't tuned and adjusted correctly to this circuit like everyone else's, so hopefully they'll just have a little bit of a better time in that one. So Venture starting to pull away a little bit from Philo. Philo's holding Alex W up for the time being. Certainly the Ferrari's not been able to make the impact it wanted to. Potter's still stuck behind Gecko. And Mart still ahead of Duco. So nothing's changed, but Duco does look like he's trying to force that move. As he goes down the inside high speed section here, any contact could spell disaster for these guys. At that speed, the slightest rub will eject one of them into the side of the track at high velocity. Thankfully, it's sim racing, so it doesn't actually like cause death and maiming, but it's not what you want. It's not what you want for every day. Blackie just running it a little bit wide there. Bobby's sideways in his Clio again. Are you having a bit of a... Are you doing some dope? Bobby, what are you doing, mate? Did this little French... Yeah, the French thing tried to kill you, didn't it? Yeah, it does that. It's French. So it's still as they were. We of course do have a couple of laps to settle these battles. 375 turns to go. As Mark does manage just to hold off Duco. Duco's not really pushing the issue too much. It probably looks from the offboards worse than it actually is, but it's just because of just the nature of this circuit. The cars bounce around all the goddamn time. Yeah, Duco's not really pushing this one too much. He's quite happy to sit behind Mark most of the time and just try and get Mark to make a mistake. That's probably his tactic right now. He's during the braking zones, just peek his nose out, make it look like he might just go for a lunge, and hopefully put Mark off when he needs to be concentrated. Just force that problem to happen for him. A little bit further back, we've got Venture now coming under pressure from Philo. Philo's on a bit more of a resurgence now. He's dropped Alex. He was getting dropped by Venture, but he's managed to pull him back in. Philo's going to be in a position as we go through mini carousel. Oh, we've gone through mini carousel. Yeah, no, there's mini carousel. Yeah, to potentially try and launch an attack back on the Ferrari. It's still I just keep seeing the other battles going off. all over the place, and you see the weaving going on circuit now. Gecko Racer trying to weave away from Potter. Mart, can he do anything about Duco? Of course, because they're not massively aero dependent cars, these anyway, they're not benefiting that much from a slipstream. You're getting a little bit, as you can see here. Duco does go for the move coming down the hill. They're going to mostly neutralise themselves though going down the hill, and it's just going to be a case of who's got the largest testicles. Mark decides just to back out of that one. Pot McPot has got himself past Gecko. That must have been done towards the end of the straight when I was too busy looking at Duco's pass on Mart. Venture still behind, still ahead of Philo. Yeah, he is. So yeah, Gecko Racer now on the back foot. The problem he's got though, once that Ferrari's in clean air, it works better. It just seems to have more road holding. These guys aren't letting Elvio get away with it that easy this time. He's still ahead by about 2 seconds. And the whole field a little bit more together then, with Duco now a second ahead of Mart. Venture still ahead of Philo by about a second. We've got Alex 5 seconds back, but he is 7 and a bit ahead of Berserker Boy in 9th. Brinky in P10 at the moment in the Nissan Skyline. Then Blackie is in 11th. He's got himself ahead of Fat Pickles Bro, who is ahead of Slow Seamus, and then bringing up the rear a minute behind the leaders. Mr. Bob Risto in the in the Clio. Full throttle on the grass. Why not, mate? Send it, as they would say. In terms of battles, then, mostly calmed down. We've not got any major dramas going off right this second. Part of Gecko's simmered down a little bit, so is Duco v Mart. I feel V Venture is back on though. So you get the feeling, is that Ferrari just a bit too tail happy coming through these twisty sections? That where the BMW's benefiting here. Of course, through those sections as well, it's also quite difficult to get past. See, Philo's just not really in a position to make a move happen. Or even necessarily force one. Eventually, he's starting to reel in the guys ahead though. So they're closing in on Mart ahead. Nothing doing a little bit further back. Brinky's fallen back a little bit somewhere. Let's jump on board with Philo for a mo. Just while there's not a lot else going on. Just get a feel for what the track's like from a BMW driver's perspective. Correct me if I'm wrong, Philo's using a control pad. So a lot of these drivers will have quite expensive rigs and equipment and setup. Philo just uses a control pad you get with a PlayStation and is this quick. It does show you don't need all that fancy stuff. It's nicer to do it that way, innit? Venture backs off. Yeah, let's Philo just lets him have it basically. Yeah, so I've got the fan attack stuff. It's just nicer. I used to use control pad, obviously. So back on board a BMW, this time a little bit further up the field. This one looking at the back end of Pottermore Pot. This is where the BMW really does start to perform then. The BMW maybe just a little bit more comfortable using these curbs, and that's what the Ferrari just loses time on, because every time I've seen a Ferrari use the curbs it just gets a bit unsettled. It's still the fastest way to do it, but it just means you've not got as much contact patch with the road going on at any one time. Sounds like Gecko even potentially missed a gear there. Still gained time on the go ahead. So the BMW does look nice and stable through this section. Is Gecko going to be in a position as we get to the main straight to make anything happen? You need to be within about 8 temps really for a chance at it. Philo's definitely in that pocket. He's right on Venture's tail at the moment. And in fact, he's going to go for a move, is Philo. Down the inside, the side by side, there's contact. Venture just manages to keep it. And Philo is literally on his gearbox at the moment. There is no room at the end though, there's not. There is the room to go side by side here. It can be done, but it's very difficult. And you're certainly putting your life in each other's hands really whenever you're doing that. It's very, very, very easy at that speed to just make a small mistake. So Gecko out of Potter's slipstream, so Potter should be okay here. And Mart P5 just on the straight. Philo v Venture side by side. It's going to be a case of who has got the quickest car. Venture not bothering with the slipstream for the time being. Philo going to extreme lengths to not let him have it. Venture, yeah, burning a little bit of that penalty away, getting rid of it. I don't know what the rules are with penalties, gotta be honest. I'm not sure if it's a no overtaking with penalties rule or anything. Neville does post all this stuff up very regularly. I just keep forgetting to read it. So no look at the end at the moment for Gecko Racer. It's still sat behind Potter. Duco's pulling that gap still to Mart. 2.5 seconds now. And now Philo and Venture were reeling him in. I think their battling slowed them down a little bit, so it's going to be a job for Philo now to try and get Mart in this next lap. So there are some drivers that aren't going to get another lap in. The first one of its kind is going to be Blackie. Blackie is going to be the first driver to finish the race. So he will finish in 12th. So Seamus will finish in P13. And Bobby, sorry, 14th for Bobby. As well, the other guys are on their laps. Now, last lap for Philo was a 7:10.0. 7:09 for Mart. So yeah, they've got to pull something kind of impressive out the bag. LVO Tricks with a 7:01.8. I'm pretty confident that was faster than his qualifying time. Granted, he's got lower fuel right now. It's still a mighty impressive time. In a race where you've got a lot more to lose. Philo is Tokyo drifting this thing around. Berserker Boy, P9. Pickles and Brinky having a good little battle here. It's Honda v Nissan. 2 JDM greats. Fat Pickles just about holding on to that top 10 spot at the moment. We'll keep an eye on that one though as it develops. LVO is beginning to check out now, 4.5 seconds ahead of Potham at Pot. Still got Gecko Racer about 8 tenths behind him. Mark's been reeling Duco back in ever so slightly. Philo hasn't been catching him. It's all about what Venture can do in this last half of the lap or so. Alex W. Solid P8 at the moment. It's hard to see anyone taking that away from him. But Berserker Boy could lose a couple of positions here if Fat Pickles Bro and Brinky carry on the way they are doing. They will be right up Berserker Boy's gearbox near the end of the lap. Of course, they could do with just gentleman's agreement, no fighting. Always Berserker Boy was just on his onboard then when he lost that. That is on a gift. Fat Pickles Bro and Brinky. P9 and 10. Now the battle can be on between these two. As we're given the worst camera angles in the world there, literally zooming into the paintwork of those two cars. Quick flick through everybody else. There's nothing else major going on. We can keep an eye on this Pickles v Brinky battle. 6 tenths at the moment. That's a lot. I mean, you can see how much that is in distance. There's a lot of distance between the two cars. Always Pickles just gets it on the grass a little bit. That will allow Brinky to catch him. Pickles had extended that gap a little bit and he's lost all that advantage back again. And nice and tidy on the brakes there for Brinky. Gets on the power nice and early on, a little bit earlier than Pickles was able to do. Pickles just hugged that inside apex a bit too much. He kicked the back end around. Brinky a lot more sedate and able. You know what? I thought I'd missed something. I thought I'd missed something. I got that and can go back and have a look at it, but Gecko Racer got back past Potter. I've got it on my replay. I need to go back and watch it. I'm just waiting to see if anything happens. In fact, we'll go back and have a look at it now. What happened? It was at YouTube corner. Pot just made a little bit of a mistake. Gecko Racer just able to hold it round the outside, got the move done. He's still ahead then as we approach mini carousel. It's going to be a case of can Potter get that slipstream and get the move made right at the end of the race. Needs a really good exit from this corner. Just Pot gets it hooked up nicely on the apex. Out wide, swing it in, little bit of a confidence lift. Potter is full ball on that throttle then. Gecko will do the Max Verstappen weave, no doubt, all the way down the straight. He's trying his hardest to break that toe. Perfectly fine to do that, of course, as long as you're not doing it when there's a car right next to you. Not a problem with that. LVO Tricks has checked out. He is 6.5 seconds up the road. It's side by side then between Gecko and Potter. Potter does get him under the slipstream. Gecko might have a chance to get him back at the bottom of the hill. It's going to be close then as the two drivers who have been nailed together for both races so far. They've never been more than like a couple of seconds apart. They've swapped positions a few times as well, but it's evenly matched in different cars as you can possibly hope to imagine. But it's going to be Potter McPot that claims the honours here for that P2 spot. LVO Tricks wins it, of course. It's going to be a drag race to the line. There's going to be 7/100ths of a second in it at the end between Potter and Gecko Racer. What a finish. Duco, 4th place for Duco, then 4 seconds ahead of Mart. That was another battle we very much enjoyed in the first race. Mart in the end, I think, had to get rid of a penalty. P5 for him. Then it's Philo. Does finish ahead of Venture. So Philo P6, Venture P7. Alex Sim Racing in P8. Good job for Alex. And Brinky was enjoying a battle with Pickles at one stage, but I don't know what's happened there. But Brinky then P9. He's enjoyed himself tonight, I think. The car that has probably seen the seemed at least one of the more difficult to get your hands on. Of course, that's just from what I see here in the commentary booth. It's not always the full truth. Pickles in 10th. Berserker Boy is going to bring it home for 11th place in the Nissan Fairlady Z. Blackie 12th. Seamus 13th. Good old Bob, Mr. Towless, P14. But all the plaudits have to go to Elvio Tricks, who has been utterly dominant both races. Yet another clean sweep. Pole position, fastest lap. And race win. So one more race to go. And that's going to be the reverse grid. So the next race is the one where it all starts to kick off. Shadow in the chat joined at the end. Looks close, mate. So close. Gecko and Potter at the end. Yeah, look. What's that? 0.08 of a second. Nothing in that at all. But they were similar in the first race, Shadow. Like they've been pretty much neck and neck the entire night. We'll see what they can do in the reverse grid. It's going to be about who can negotiate that traffic better. So we're going to start the lower classified finishes at the top of the field this time. So like your Bobbies, your Seamuses, your Blackies that finished at the bottom in the last race will be at the top in the next one. Good opportunity for them guys to do something. Good opportunity for them to try and take advantage of maybe cars having incidents behind them. It's keeping the nose clean. Another little 5-minute break and then we will get underway with this final race of the Tour Street Racers Championship. We've had 3 rounds. Coming into the 9th race now. And it has been, I'll be honest, and Potter won't like me saying this, but when this come out, I had my doubts as to whether it were going to be any good. Because BOP, balance of performance for these cars is notoriously difficult because they're just so very different. But I say it's been a bloody good championship. It's been a lot of fun. Nurburgring is always a controversial race for drivers. Some drivers don't like it, but Tokyo was a brilliant night. Yeah, big shout out, agree, mate. Big shout out to all drivers for racing on this circuit. It's not easy because you can lose so much time with a silly little mistake, and then your head goes. One last promo of this, ladies and gents. One last roll of the dice. One last opportunity for yourself to get yourselves down to Asylum VR and Esports Centre. Have I got this set up? No, I haven't. I haven't got it set up. But you know what? Give me just a sec. Alex Sim Racing's left the room. Oh, no. Oh, Ray Rang said change name to... Oh! Controversial. Controversial. 1 minute, I'm just trying to get my internet browser working on this window. I'm using that because I've got 2 keyboards. Race Asylum West Bromwich. Right. See if I can make this work then. Display capture. Don't want that. I want this. Don't want screen capture. Window capture. That's what I want. Let's add a new source. And let's give you that. There you go. Right, it's still loading because I've closed. There we go. So this is where you want to get yourselves to. Asylum Esports and VR Centre. It's kind of a video playing in the background that advertises it anyway. But if you got some friends, if you haven't got any friends, go and find some, because you can go and have a laugh here. They do what a lot of places don't do and give you the prices straight up. It's not a please phone for price. It's there you go. It's exactly how it is. So you can have half hour in a full motion simulator rig for 25 quid. You can go in the F1 tubs for a tenner for half an hour. You've got flight sims here as well. So if you want to get your inner pilot going, practice landing on the Hudson River, 15 quid, and you can do that. These are the ones that I've been told to have a go on, the V-rigs, but the GT units sound more like me. And you can click in, you can have a go. These are the Track Racer TR rigs, GT Sport on there, look. I don't know what the wheels are, they look like Thrustmasters. PlayStation 5, Thrustmaster TGTs, yeah, so the Shadow, I've got to say though, mate, fix that spelling mistake, please. It's the first thing I spotted. Yeah, so you can get yourselves down. I'm trying to find the details. So there it is, West Brom, outskirts of Birmingham. I am, where am I? I am there. So it's a bit of a trek for me, but I'm gonna make it down at some point. So that's that. So hopefully you've been able to have a look. Let's get back to this. So if you can make it down there on Saturday, you can win yourself £1,000 if you're any good at sim racing. So get yourself down there, pay £20. You will then get the opportunity to enter into a tournament, essentially, where the fastest driver will walk out £1,000 richer. Get onto the tech, guys. Honestly, I'm known for it at work. Everyone gets me to proofread emails for them at work because I just spot spelling mistakes like a mile away. That is all. It's a nice website though. I like it. I was not criticising. It's a good website, mate. This TGT is just new. New Fanatec ones. The DD Pros. Shadow, while you're here, I'm wanting a new rig myself. If you are replacing any of them, can you let me know? Because I want ideal world, mate. I want like an 80/20 profile with a bucket seat. But it'll be next year that I do that. So if you do it, if you're getting rid of any, let me know. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Asylum Esports VR Centre. Get yourselves down. You got a cafe there and stuff as well. I don't know. I know you've got other bits and bobs going on. But yeah, there's tons to get your teeth stuck into, ladies and gents, if you fancy it. And lots of opportunity there to go and have some fun with your pals. Yeah, the TGTs, them, aren't they? With the T3PA pedals, by the looks of it. So it's a decent setup, you know. Anyway, we've got a stream to be running. So let me just get back to this. Let's get back on. Wrong screen. That's the one I want. Oh, has it been delayed because of COVID? Oh, fair enough. That's fine. I didn't even think about that, mate, to be honest. Right, fair enough. Yeah, well, whenever you do it, let me know, and I'll promote it on like socials and streams and stuff. I don't mind doing that. Bobby, James, mate, let's do it. That boys out we've been on about. Let's get ourselves down there. I'm up for that. Anyway, for the next 20 minutes or so, let's talk cars. Bobby is doing Bobby things in a Toyota Tundra, so he's going to have a terrible start, but he's going to try and beat Checo. A slow Seamus then in a really weird Mercedes leads away. Bobby's still in the lead then. Philo's had a great start as he always does, and he got Venture, Mark, who else is going on? Elvio is still right at the back. So the story's going to be how these three can get through. So Elvio, Potter and Gecko, can they make it through? What sort of roadblock is Bobby going to be in this? Now, he might have been entering this as a meme entry. Seamus goes off the circuit. That might bring out the yellows for some of the drivers behind. I think everyone manages to avoid him. Indeed they do then. But that's Bobby's 1.6 seconds clear in a Toyota Tundra. Yeah, you heard. You heard right. Philo's up to P5 then. Berserker Boy now trying to get past the Toyota Tundra, and this is the view they've all got. The back of that cab is filled with sandbags then. Now Bobby shouldn't be blocking these guys. He shouldn't be swerving across the track to block them, but at the same point, he doesn't have to make life easy for them either. It can be the basic safety car. Michael Massey is bought out. Oh, we've got a car off. We've got massive carnage. There's a car waiting there on the apex. I dare say that looked like Fat Pickles Bro's car, but I'll wait to be corrected. After all that carnage, is Venture leading away from Mark. Then it's Brinky being pressured now by Duco. Philo still P5 after all that carnage, but Brinky has gone off the track, so he's going to get promoted up another position. I think, yeah, up to P4 he goes. Potham at Pot P5. Elvio Tricks is 7th, but he will go up another position. Yeah, he's up to P6. He's off the track though. And then it is Gecko Racer making his way through. Yes, it is. Gecko Racer actually gets past Elvio, does he? No. Elvio just about manages to defend him. Brinky P9, Seamus P10, Berserker Boy P11, and it's Fat Pickles Bro in 12. I need to go back and have a look at what happened there because I didn't see it. I see some board with Fat Pickles Bro. Berserker Boy is ahead. You know what? That wasn't Pickles' fault. I heard him get slammed. I think just a big concentration of cars in one area. It's hard to say whether anyone's at fault, but that is, of course, stuff we can review in due course. It's alright, Shadow, mate. When you get the info, send it over. We'll do the tune. We'll promote it on like MRC page and all that sort of stuff. It's all good, mate. But yeah, James, if we'll get it organised, mate. We'll do something. We'll get ourselves down to Asylum. See how many people we get to going down. Like, see if we can agree like a rate for us to have a couple of hours there. You know, so we know what prices and what we're getting. Oh, there's a car in background there. Is that Philo? Was that Philo off in the background? Let's go back and have a look at that. It was Philo that was off in the background. What happened to him? So he just got passed by Potter. No cars anywhere near him behind. Oh, he just got a boot full of opposite. He's got a boot full of throttle. Right when his rear tyres were looking for the most amount of grip, and that actually lets the Toyota Tundra back past him. Bobby's having fun in this thing. But he's a sitting duck on the straights. That's all I can say. But he'll be having fun. He'll be smiling. Mark's got past Venture. Venture might actually be getting overtaken now by Duco. In fact, he is getting overtaken now by Duco. As the BMW goes through. We've got Potham at Pot into P4, LVO P5, Gecko P6. So they have got through, but Gecko's been the big loser in all that because he's lost out to LVO and he's a couple of seconds now shy of his arch nemesis, Mr. Potham at Pot. Of course, Nurburgring, Elvio is going to be a very difficult person to get by. Potter will be quite eager to get past Venture ASAP, because then he's got to get a car's worth of buffer between him and Elvio and Gecko. But Venture's proving not an easy car to get past. The same car, of course, so it just all comes down to setup and driver skill. We know how much Potter loves the Nurburgring there, as Venture just gets a ton of gravel kicked up in the place. You see Duco there up ahead as we go through YouTube corner, fighting his way for the lead. Potter does have Elvio all over him. Nothing doing for the time being then, as Mark still leads the race. He's literally getting pushed along the track almost by Duco in the BMW. He's trying his damnedest to be like every other BMW you see on the road, and wow, the might be backside. Oh, that's untidy though there by Duco. He just got it light over the crest of that hill. And unfortunately, as Elvio's getting battered around now by Venture, Potter, who got past him, Elvio wasn't able to sneak through at the same point as well, and that's just going to slow him up a little bit, and that's good news for Potter. It's bad news for Gecko and Elvio though. Could do with getting past him ASAP. Mark then leads the way, 1.7 seconds. Duco ahead of Potter by a couple of tenths. Again, these are friends in real life, these two. Are they going to be as friendly on track tonight? Is Duco going to pull over and let Potter go? Well, I'll be honest, he's not showing any signs of doing that right now. Potter's not also showing his turn just yet. Indeed, Potter looks like he's been given the outside line, which is the favourable line coming down the hill. It's the line you want then, as Elvio is through past Venture in the background. That's Potter up to P2, Duco P3, Elvio P4. So this is where the Checo Perez of the sim racing world could potentially come into force if he wants to help his mate Potter out. As Venture gets back past Elvio. Elvio's not used to driving with other cars. You've got to remember this. Throughout tonight, Elvio has not had another car anywhere near him. Suddenly he's been thrust into a world of traffic, and I'm not saying he doesn't know how to cope with it. He does, but it's just different. The Ferrari will handle differently. And he's just got to try and do a load of overtaking on a track that's not very easy to overtake on. Gecko Racers having the same problem. Brinky 7th, Philo 8th. Philo's having a bit of a torrid night by all accounts. Then we've got Berserker Boy in P9, Fat Pickles in P10, and then Bobby in the pits. As Mark leads the way then, 1.3 seconds out of Potter McPot. Duco still in hot pursuit. Then it's Venture P4, Elvio and Gecko Racer now battling it out. Just jump on board with Gecko Racer. These fast guys have been doing 3 laps, so we're not even halfway through the race for these lads yet. We are on time elapsed for the race, but because they have to do 3 laps really. Always Venture there, just run out very deep. That is going to give Elvio some overdrive. Is there going to be any room at the end though for Elvio Tricks to make a move here? He did have the overspeed. As long as he gets a nose in, he's deserving of the space. That's a lovely move by Elvio. That's a lovely overtake. He had that one lined up a corner or two before. He was given the space by Venture. Granted, there was really good racecraft between all of them. Yeah, Elvio had that one set up. Elvio now has a clean run at Duco, who is 2 and a bit seconds up the road then. Duco is sticking with Potter McPot for the time being. Elvio's now has got a bit of free air, bit of chance to get his foot down. Of course, any mistake though by Elvio will put Gecko Racer and Venture right on him. feel I'm not having a good night here at the Nurburgring. So that gap then between Elvio and Duco absolutely plummeted like a stone, and the reason for it is Potter's now caught up to Mart, and we're now seeing a little bit of a train form. So it's Mart, Potter, Duco and Elvio in the train, with Venture currently... Oh, is that a move by Potter down the inside? That was about as opportunistic as it needs to be. Can Duco follow him? A heli angle, providing a lovely angle of that. Mart not putting up too much of a fight. Plenty of racing room given between all these guys. That's good racecraft, good move there by Potter McPart, but Duco's got it wrong. That's going to give Elvio a gift. Elvio's had a free shot there. Is Venture going to be able to take advantage as well? He's closing fast. It's a fast section of track here, and Venture does manage to get past him, and so does Gecko Racer. Duco in the space of what? A corner? There's a car going slowly there in the background. Who was that? That was Venture, I think. No, it was Mart. Venture was caught up in an issue there. I don't know what happened. The two BMWs are going side by side. We will go back and have a look at that. That has all released Elvio Tricks into the path of Potter, though. We'll catch back up with that, but for the time being, I need to go and see what happened here, because Venture's car is absolutely ruined. What happened to him? So I want to say something happened with Mart. It did. So he ran on the gravel. So yeah, Mart's ghosted at this point. Venture's approaching. The car ahead's quite slow. Venture tags him, goes round. That gives the two BMWs enough of an opportunity to grab him. And Venture then, just with no grip on his tyres, ends up going round. So that's what happened to Venture. A bit of an update on the standings then. It's Potter McPot leading the race ahead of Elvio Tricks. Both drivers came from the back of the grid. Potter's got two choices. He can either fight this for the 1 and a bit laps that they've got remaining, no doubt. I'm pretty sure they'll have another lap to do after this one, looking at the times. Or does he let Elvio have the P1 position easily, just so that they are then not dragged into this little fight here that is Mart, Duco and Gecko Racer, who have been duking it out all race so far, really. Is Duco going to try the opportunistic move? It would be very opportunistic there. Probably no room at the end here. Duco was looking like he might make a move there, but I think it was just different handling characteristics of the cars through that one up. Going back up to the front. I don't know what Potter's gonna do here. I don't know what Potter's strategy is gonna be. He's lifting. He's lifting off Potter McPot, so he's letting Elvio have him here. And then is it the old DRS trick? is it the old switcheroo? It is, you know. That's what he's trying. He's trying the old switcheroo on Elvio. So lifting at the start of the straight to let the guy pass, then slipstreaming back down the straight. Potter, of course, now on the inside line, which turns to the outside for the next series of corners, but it's worked beautifully for Potter. We know he can hold his nerve around the Nurburgring, so he'll have no problem in attempting the defence. We know Elvio's quick, and Potter doesn't need to be told that. But it doesn't stop him trying, you know what I mean? All credit to you, dude, all credit to you. Right, what's going on elsewhere? So we've got Duco P3, Gecko P4, Mart P5. Brinky should get another. Yeah, he's going to get another lap in. Brinky's having a good race so far. P6, absolutely solid result for Brinky so far. Philo and Venture battling it away. It's Venture 7th, Philo 8th at the moment. These two should also get another lap in. Berserker Boy's on the cusp of it. Will Berserker get another lap in? Nope, Berserker's the first one to finish. P9, Pickles, P10, and then it's Bobby, who's just sat in the pits. P11 for Bobby. So still Pot at Pot leading the way. LVO Tricks just a couple of attempts behind him. Battles going on all over the shop here. So it's Potter v LVO, Duco v Gecko, Mark Brinky in no man's land. But it has been Philo v Venture as well. That might reignite at some point, but at the moment the fight we all want to see, the fight we're watching, is Blackie's left the room. Obviously he was using the oh, what car was he out in now? Blackie was out in the BMW, wasn't he? Obviously not having a good time of it is Blackie. Potter's indicating to LVO, so Potter's flicking his indicators on from time to time now. He's either trying to signal to him that he wants to let him go. Doesn't sound like a Potter thing to do, it must be said. And they jump on board with LVO Tricks now. Potter's going to have about another minute and a half's worth of defending to do. Bobby dropped his truck. Right? Yeah, he dropped a little bit more than that, Dan. Alex Wilmot, thanks for having me. I had to leave bed. No worries, Alex. No worries, mate. Appreciate you jumping in and filling a space. Don't forget to get yourselves over to Mature Racing Club on Facebook and Race Asylum on Discord. If you want to get involved in any sim racing events, both groups cater for pretty much anything you'd ever want on GT Sport, and they're all starting to expand into other platforms now as well. So, has this order swapped around? Have I missed it while I've been talking? I have. That's what I've... Yeah, Duco got it wrong. So Gecko racing out to P3. Duco P4. Apologies, boys, I missed that. Pot still ahead of LVO Tricks with about a third of the way through. Oh, LVO Tricks has lost it. The first mistake he makes it on the last lap of the last race of the series. He might be able to recover enough to stay ahead of Gecko Race. It might. The corners ahead might just save him. Might neutralise that advantage a little bit that Gecko had with the overspeed, but we'll have a little bit of an onboard replay in just a moment. Yeah, we'll do that now. So, one of the more difficult corners here on the circuit. You've got a very bumpy. You need to dig your wheels onto the inside, and he just did what a few people have been doing tonight, just getting the power down as you're trying to accelerate out of a corner. And unfortunately, that was enough to spin it round, as Gecko Racer might have done the exact same thing like 10 seconds later. Gecko Racer down to P4 now. Let's have a look. He was fighting with LVO. Let's have a look. They were side by side. Yeah, I don't think there was contact. Didn't see or hear any contact there as Gecko Racer drops a place to Mart as well. So from fighting for P3 to a P5, he'll be pretty knocked off with that, you can imagine. But he's got about a third of a lap now to try and get Mart and just try and rescue something out of the race. Pot at Pot, don't get me wrong, he was getting pressured by LVO. You can never rule him out of being able to cope with that pressure and bring the result home. But as long as he keeps it on the straight and narrow, he will take the win here in the final race. LVO Tricks has unfortunately been dropped out of contention for that, unless it all closes up again for one reason or another. But LVO no doubt has been the star of the show here in the Tall Street Racers League. Utterly dominant performances all the way through, really, and I don't need to see the point sheet to know that he's winning by a lot. Duco P3 in a podium for him at the moment, providing he can keep it on track for a YouTube corner. About to keep an eye on his Mart v Gecko Racer. Mart got that a little bit wrong as well. That might give Gecko Racer just enough to have a nibble at him. And I do apologise to the guys a little bit further back that haven't got as much coverage this race as I'd normally like to give them. It has just been so enthralling up front. And the racers behind have been neutralised somewhat. So, my apologies. It's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. At the moment, we have got Mart v Gecko Racer. This is very close at the moment. This might come down to a slipstream on the main straight move. And it's going to be Ferrari versus BMW then. It's not for a podium. Oh wait, yeah, it's not for a podium. They've already pretty much been decided unless they have a crash in the final few corners. But it is for best of the rest really. And Gecko Race. Oh, we've got a yellow flag out though. Who's that? Who's off? Who's off? It's Elvio again. Elvio's off. That puts Duco into P2. I'm not sure Mark's going to have enough to have him. Let's have a little bit of a recap what happened to Elvio. I think the camera angle may just cut us off. He runs it wide. Yeah, he just loses it. Fortunately gathers it up, but then again just spins out, and the tree's blocking our line of vision there. But that is going to bring Mark right into this plate. Elvio could drop down to P5 potentially here, and Mark's going to definitely have a go at him. And it's going to be a close finish between all these guys. It's Potter McPot that is going to take the win. Sorry, Potter, not coming across the line for you there, but it's Duco P2. Elvio is just going to hang on for that P3. Gecko Race is going to get Mart at the very last corner. And it's going to be Elvio, Gecko and Mart. A fantastic final, like half a lap between them. Bravo, boys, that was great. Brinky. P6 is it, or is Venture going to get him at the line? Venture's going to get him because yeah, Brinky's unfortunately just dropped it on the last two corners, and then it's Philo in P8. But while we wait for Philo to come across the line, just a round of applause for Potter, for Duco, for Elvio, Gecko, Mart. Fantastic close to the race. That it was all over the place. It really was. Potter in the end winning by nearly 14 seconds. And Philo, who's had a bit of a night to forget. Philo's normally very, very, very good in tuning cars and in Nurburgring. So a combination I would have predicted him to do very well at tonight. He's not unfortunately had the results that he would have hoped for. But P8 for Philo. That ending was like Sunday. But without the bullshit. I could, you know what I was tempted to do? I was tempted to get myself in like a safety car and just randomly drive on the circuit at some point. Yeah, it was a really good finish. That sometimes those reverse grid races can be a little bit, they can be neutralised quite early on. You know what I mean? But that one had it all really. That was a really good. Couldn't ask for a better last lap of the championship, could you? Really, absolutely bang on. But yeah, thank you to everyone for watching. We've had decent views really all the way through it. Each video's got quite a few views. So I'll take this last opportunity to do a couple of little wee promotions. So obviously Mature Racing Club on Facebook, Race Asylum on Discord. Shadow, you're welcome to bang a link in the description or send me a link and I'll post it. It's fine. Obviously, the Race Asylum competition's been delayed due to COVID, but obviously that's sort of to be expected, you know, if COVID delays things. It delays things, but once we have news on that, we will post it out on the page for you, so you can get yourselves involved. So for the latest news, you can get yourself joined up on Facebook and Discord, and you'll get to know all about it. But in the meantime, you can just get yourselves down to Asylum VR and Esports Centre in West Bromwich. Anyway, upcoming leagues. I've got Infinity GT starting soon. some space left in that if you want to get yourselves driving. There is the Tour GT3 League. So it's Team Oliver Racing GT3 cars, one of the best championships you'll find on GT Sport. That is starting up in January as well. I don't know if the space, it does normally fill up, but you can definitely get yourselves down for a reserve spot. Yeah, Shadow, I don't know. I'm not very good with Discord, mate, and I know you guys are on Discord. If you're on Facebook, then that'll do. But just so I can, like, you know, put your link out. And then, yeah, we'll have the Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship starting in 2022 at some point. News to be confirmed. But we will get something rocking as a grand send off in GT Sport. It's come up as message retracted, and I can't mod it in here. So I'll tell you what, Shadow, I'll sort it and I'll put it in the description. So if you're watching this on the live stream, unfortunately I can't do anything about it here, but I will put it in the video description. All the links you will need. So there'll be a link to Mature Racing Club where you can find all the events, and there'll be a link to Race Asylum's Discord, and I'll put a link to the website as well so you can go and generally check it out. That's it from me. Thank you for watching. Has been a great season, as Potter says in the race lobby chat. Hopefully you've all enjoyed the racing that we've been able to bring to you, and this is pretty much I think going to be me until next year. So I hope you all have a great Christmas and a great New Year. Enjoy it with your families, get drunk, have fun. Just make sure you're all good and you have a good time, and I will see you all in 2022. Hopefully with lots of exciting things to bring you and lots of good sim racing related shenanigans. We'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. Happy Christmas and a Merry New Year.